Illinois the possession. Wagler holding it near the midcourt stripe. Working his way to the right wing. Now to the top of the key, now to Jake Davis into the right corner. Three on the way here for Markovich is good. Back-to-back threes for Illinois, and the Illini lead 79-75.
Purdue just continually getting caught in rotations, and Illinois making the extra pass.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, sports fans, whenever you've chosen to tune into the Central Indiana Sports Report. This is Greg and his friends talk sports. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt. That was Rob Blackman of the Purdue Sports Network calling Illinois' 88-82 upset of Purdue on Saturday. This is my new show. It's 10 to 20 minutes every day, sometime between 12:01 a.m. and 6 p.m., where I'm talking about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about. Coming up, another Purdue loss. I'll talk about that with my friend and our Purdue guy, Jake Dunn. An unusual day in Muncie because the men won and the women lost. My friend Cade Hampton of the Muncie Star-Press will join me to talk about that. I will also have high school boys and girls basketball scores and highlights from the CIC and across Central Indiana, plus some high school wrestling and swimming results. A look ahead to Sunday, including conference championship games in the NFL. Thanks for joining me and my friends. We'll be back tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. You get it. Back-to-back losses for number 4 Purdue, and their second loss at home this season, 88-82 against number 11 Illinois. It has to have Purdue fans a little bit concerned. I'm not that concerned. They're clearly getting everybody's best shot. And man, did they get Illinois' best shot on Saturday. In particular, freshman Keaton Wagler, who was in the zone of all zones. But there are also some positive signs for Purdue as well, coming out of Saturday's loss. The Boilermakers had a chance to put the game away several times. Every time it looked like they were going to, Illinois had an answer. Most of the time it was Wagler, a freshman from Shawnee, Kansas. In fact, he had one of the greatest scoring games in college basketball history, maybe. 46 points on, get this, 13 of 17, 9 of 13 from behind the three-point arc, 11 of 13 at the foul line. He scored their first 16 points. Then late, Jake Davis, David Mirkovich, and Tomislav Izovic hit big three-pointers down the stretch. Braden Smith was magnificent again. 11 of 16 from the field, 2 of 3 from behind the three-point arc, 3 of 4 at the foul line for 27 points. He also had 12 assists and now has 943 assists for his career, passing Ohio's DJ Cooper and the great Gary Payton of Oregon, who played his last game against Ball State, by the way, in the NCAA tournament, to move up to 12th all-time, just 4 behind Doug Gottlieb and 7 behind Greg Anthony to get into the top 10. And really, Braden Smith's the reason I'm not that concerned. He has to be the best go-to offensive player in college basketball. Need a basket. No one in the sport you'd rather have the ball in his hands than Braden Smith. So good. There was a scary moment when he went down with a turn of an ankle. It looked kind of serious, but he didn't even seem to have a limp the rest of the game, so it doesn't seem to be a concern. Here's my friend and the Central Indiana Sports Report's Purdue guy, Jake Dunn, with his thoughts on the loss.
Well, Jake, that sucked.
Yeah, hate to see it go down like that. Certainly, we've talked about kind of losing confidence in this team, and I know Illinois has a really good offensive team, but with one of their star players out, you would think that Purdue may have a little bit better shot to win this, but pretty disappointing loss.
Honestly, if Boswell had played, Wagler probably doesn't have the game he does. It might go different. But,
Yeah.
Jake, I think it all comes down to they couldn't get a defensive rebound. I think that's been a problem all year. It's one of the very few serious issues they have with this team, but it really showed itself today.
Schematically, Purdue's defense is, kind of designed to give up, threes, and especially when Purdue's lane protection defense, like they're obviously going to help at the rim, and they are going to concede threes when rotations are late. And Illinois just had a really good shooting performance. Purdue, shot pretty well. I think Purdue's going to, the way Purdue shoots, I think it's going to win you most games. But when Purdue has the size that it does, that kind of creates a mismatch on the perimeter. So, big teams like Purdue are going to get hunted like that. That's why, I'm kind of surprised that Purdue kept switching as much as they did, because they were getting exposed every time. You see opponents are attacking those switches. The guards are pulling up behind those ball screens. Donovan Dent at UCLA did it. Wagler had 46 points. That's an all-time Mackey performance especially for a freshman. So yeah, I think the schematics of Purdue's defense didn't help, but you just can't let that happen on your home floor.
I agree. I think, though, unlike the last 4 games or so, I mostly came away from this one with some positive feelings because, number one, I think they have the best go-to player in the country, and Braden Smith was every bit of that today. In the end, Illinois made a couple of – they just couldn't miss. A couple of big plays at the end. The other good thing is offensively, Purdue is really good. It's just going to take some adjustments defensively and, again, on the defensive boards.
If Purdue just gives up their season average, offensive rebounds, on the defensive rebounding percentage for this game, Purdue's percentage was 55%. So that means they were giving up 45% of that's not good at all. On the season, they're averaging 73.5%. So almost 20% better on the season than what they did tonight. And if they just grab a couple of those rebounds, this game goes a little bit of a different way. Purdue lost the foul differential. They normally win the foul differential. They had a really good assist turnover ratio. They didn't turn the ball over very much, but just couldn't really dominate on the glass. And Illinois is really good. That's one of their strengths, and Purdue still let it happen. So Trey Kaufman-Wren only had 2 rebounds today. So I kind of wish that he and Oscar Clef only had 4. Those are our 2 best rebounders. Purdue only had 19 rebounds for the entire game. So that's not a very high percentage.
Illinois had 13 offensive rebounds.
Yep.
Not a good combination, especially when Illinois is shooting like they were.
Yeah.
I don't know, Jake. I come away from this game thinking good things are about to happen.
I hope so. I hope that this, as well as the UCLA game, will be kind of a kick in the pants for Purdue. I kind of thought that that UCLA might be, that game might have been enough, but it's kind of, I almost couldn't believe my eyes, seeing a freshman come into Mackey and put up 46 points. Just it's unheard of.
It was truly the epitome of being in the zone.
Yeah, he 13 of 17 from the field, 9 of 11 from 3, 11 of 13 from the line.
Insane. Crazy game. Never seen anything quite like it. And they still had every chance to win the game, which is another reason I just feel like good things are about to happen. Last thing, really good to see a Tipton guy out there in a Big Ten game, isn't it?
Yeah, good to see him out there. The last Tipton guy we saw in a Big Ten game was Derek Elston back in the early 2010s. So, or late 2000s, early 2010s. But, great to see him. Had 20 minutes, 6 points, hit two threes. was 2 of 4 from 3, had 4 rebounds, one of them being offensive in a turnover. So good showing. Glad he got to score, and hope that he had I know his family was there, but hope he had some friends there as well to support him. Pretty cool thing, growing up an hour away and getting to play in in one of the best environments of college basketball, right down the road from your hometown.
Jake Dunn, thank you so much for your time. You can hear Jake every Wednesday on the Purdue Report, and this week he'll be on Monday doing a preview of the IU Purdue game. Thanks so much for your time, Jake.
Yeah, thank you. Boiler up.
Boiler up.
Boilermakers shot 57% from the field and lost. They were out-rebounded 33-19 and allowed the Illini to make 18 three-pointers. The IU Purdue preview will be out Monday. The Purdue Report with Jake is every Wednesday. And, of course, he'll be a regular on this podcast. Also in the Big Ten, number 7 Nebraska remained unbeaten with a 76-57 win at Minnesota. Michigan State pounded Maryland 91-48. This Maryland team's awful. And UCLA defeated Northwestern 71-64. Other men's scores across Indiana. Drake defeated Indiana State 76-62. And Ball State beat Northern Illinois 58-53 as part of a men's-women's doubleheader at Worthen Arena. It started with a showdown of 2 MAC women unbeatens, a 72-52 blowout win by the Miami Redhawks over the Cardinals. In the nightcap of the doubleheader, which was actually early in the afternoon, Armani Ziegler and Davion Hill scored 18 points apiece for Ball State, and the Cardinals held the Huskies to 35% shooting to improve to 7-13 on the year. I spoke with my friend Cade Hampton, Muncie Star-Press sports editor, about the men's win and the women's loss Saturday.
All right, Cade, interesting day over at Worthen Arena. I think the big game was the women, but the men came away with a win. Where you want to start today?
We can start with the women. They played first, and like you said, really strong matchup. Last two undefeated teams in the MAC, with Miami of Ohio coming to town. Both teams were 7-0, and man, the Ball State really took one on the chin today. I mean, they got flat out beat in a way that we didn't really see last year. They lost a couple of games last year in the MAC, but I think it was only 2, and neither of them were really an ass-kicking like that was. That Miami team really put the pedal to the metal and held them to a season low. Ball State only scored 52 points, just didn't get any good shots, and the good shots they did take, they didn't make, and it was just a rough day all around for them.
Real struggle offensively.
Absolutely. They really just couldn't get anything going. I think Miami has the best scoring defense in the MAC, so I figured it'd be probably a lower scoring affair, but they really had nothing flowing.
And for the men, big day for Davion Hill and for Armani Ziegler. Much needed win for the Cardinals.
The men really seem to be kind of getting their feet under them, figuring out how to play together. And like you mentioned, those two, Ziegler and Hill, that kind of is emerging as a bit of a dynamic duo in the backcourt, and they really showed out today. And offense is still a bit of a struggle. I mean, only 58 points, but when your defense is good enough to win a game like that, where you're not, able to really score at all, it's pretty impressive. And NIU definitely helped them out. They didn't have a great offensive day at all by any means, but Ball State's defense was aggressive. That was a big part of that. They forced a lot of tough shots, closed out well, and NIU hung around in there. They stayed in it till the end, and Ball State was able to still scrap it out. Never gave up the lead. They led the entire game, which was pretty impressive to stay in control of that when even as it kind of started getting closer at some point. So pretty strong day for them, and 3-game winning streak for them now. They seem to have some good things going.
Yeah, 3rd straight win, and Ziegler has just been really good offensively, hasn't he?
Yeah, he definitely, it took him a little while, it seems like, to really figure out who their go-to guy was. Because last year, I mean, it was pretty clearly Jamari Hill kind of the whole season, it felt like. But this year, nobody has really kind of taken over that workload, or at least not the first couple weeks of the season until Ziegler the last few weeks. I mean, our last few games, that Akron 30-point explosion and then 28 against, I believe it was Central Michigan the next game. I mean, he's really, or Ohio. The Ohio was when he got 28. Central Michigan, he had the game-winning play to bat the ball out. But, I mean, yeah, he's been really impressive, and he seems to have really kind of stepped up as a leader, holding teammates accountable. That was something he talked about a lot today after the game, and he's really kind of growing, and the team is better for it. They're on a winning streak, and he's been a big part of that.
His last 4 games, he's had season highs in points, so good to see that. Nobody has better Ball State coverage than Cade Hampton. Cade, that's not all you cover, though. Tell us what else is going on at the Star-Press.
Yeah, we've got high school sports going on. Actually, I hate that I missed this game tonight, but I was planning on hitting a little triple header going to Monroe Central and Blackford tonight, and that ended up going to overtime, and Monroe Central pulled off an upset on a last-second shot from what I've heard. So pretty exciting night of hoops, and I unfortunately wasn't able to make it out there because of the weather. They moved that game up, and I just didn't have time to get there after Ball State coverage, but we got some exciting high school coverage coming up this week. Obviously, some basketball, girls sectional coverage right around the corner. And then into this week, we also have boys wrestling sectionals coming up. So pretty fun times in Muncie, and I'll be all over it. So you can find it all at the starpress.com. Follow me on Twitter, Cade Hampton, and stay warm.
That's right. My friend Cade Hampton, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Greg. Appreciate you, man.
Also in women's college basketball, Purdue Fort Wayne moved into second place in the Horizon with a 97-91 overtime win over Northern Kentucky with 27 points from freshman Riley Bess. High school boys basketball, we start in the CIC as we always do. Frankton won its third straight game, 6th in its last 8, 58-36 over West Dell at Hoosier Gym in Knightstown. Trey Bennett led Frankton with 17 points, giving him 44 for the weekend. Madison Grant got a big win over Eastbrook, the Argyle's first conference win and their third victory of the season. And Blackford lost its second straight game, 66-65 in overtime to Class A number 12 Monroe Central on a controversial finish after starting the year with a school record 13 straight wins coming into the weekend. Some other scores from around central Indiana. Number 4 Mount Vernon beat Hamilton Southeastern 69-50. Luke Ertl became the Marauders' all-time leading scorer in the win. He now has 1,390 points, passing Tim Miller's 28-year-old record. Kyle Neddenrip of the Indianapolis Star reports that the future Boilermaker had 22 points, 17 rebounds, and 11 assists in the win. Hamilton Heights won his 6th straight game after starting the season 0-7. The Huskies beat McConaughey 65-51 for head coach Chad Ballinger's 251st career win. He won his 250th on Friday in a win over Lafayette Central Catholic. Great weekend for Kokomo after beating Muncie Central on Friday. They beat Tipton 60-50 on Saturday, and Corbin Hamill went over 1,000 points for his career, the 16th Wildcat to do so, according to Dean Hockney, who would know. LaPel is 9-4 after beating Daleville 79-44, the Bulldogs' 4th straight win. I really need to reach out to Kevin Cherry to talk to him about his team. Pendleton Heights beat Tri-West 68-43. The 11-2 Arabians led 44-17 at the half. It was North Miami over Tri-Central 51-34. Number 1 Fishers ripped through Fort Wayne Carroll 79-37. Cooper Zachary scored 28 points for the Tigers. Westfield beat Muncie Central 88-75. It was Zionsville 42-39 over Warren Central. 3A number 5 Shelbyville got past Greenfield Central 64-45. The Golden Bears are now 12-4. And Indianapolis Metro beat Western 54-47 despite 27 points from Carter Biggs. That was according to Brian Gaskins of the Kokomo Tribune. He also reports that Eastern beat Southern Wells by 70 points, 109-39. Colton Lindsay scored 40 points, outscoring the Raiders by himself. Frankfort beat Clinton Central 67-62, with Shenandoah 58-55 over Eastern Hancock. 2A number 10 Raiders are now 12-2, 5-1 in the MEC. Anderson Prep beat Smith Academy from Fort Wayne 86-55, and Huntington North topped Belmont 56-50. And it'll be Cathedral against Cecina in the city championship next Saturday after Cathedral beat Ritter 67-54, and Cecina beat Attic 67-38. I see we've already passed 20 minutes. Apparently these are going to be a little longer on weekends. Girls basketball in the CIC, it was Mississinawa 47, Elwood 31. Elwood's now 9-13. Eastbrook 53-36 over Madison Grant. Eastbrook is 7-13. The CIC championship game between Oak Hill and Alexandria was postponed and moved to Thursday. That game will be at Alexandria. Some other scores of interest around the state. Northwestern 49-41 over Wabash. Peru 56-31 over Eastern. It was Kokomo 57-45 over Carroll. Shelbyville beat Delta 53-30. And Rensselaer Central topped Hamiltonite 62-60 for the Hoosier Conference Championship. Courtney Matthews scored 26 points for the reigning semi-state champions. The CIC wrestling tournament has been postponed. We'll have a new date for you as soon as we know it. Tri-Central won the Hoosier Heritage Boys Wrestling Championship. Dayton McCool was the individual champion for the Trojans. Eastbrook's boys won the Hoosier Heartland Swimming Championship. The Noblesville Boom came from behind to beat the Wisconsin Herd 117-115 in overtime. They outscored Wisconsin 30-20 in the fourth quarter to force the extra session in Oshkosh. Fourth straight win for Noblesville. Cody Martin scored 28 points. Gabe McLaughlin 25 off the bench. Next game for Noblesville is Friday at home against Birmingham, an affiliate of the Pelicans. The Indy Ignite women's volleyball team lost in 4 sets to the Omaha Supernovas in their home opener at the Fishers Event Center. A couple of national news notes. Sean O'Malley won in a decision in the co-main event, and Justin Gaethje beat Patty Pimblett by unanimous decision in the main event in UFC 324 in Vegas. UFC 325 in Australia is coming on Saturday. Get a recap of 324 and a preview of 325 on this week's Fight Report with Hanson Crafton. John Harbaugh will officially be the new head coach of the Giants, and it looks like former Packers and Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy will be the new Steelers head coach for some reason. The U.S. women's national team beat Paraguay 6-0 in a friendly on Saturday. The Super Bowl will be either the Broncos-Rams, Broncos-Seahawks, Patriots-Seahawks, or Patriots-Rams. We'll know after today's AFC and NFC championship games. The Patriots are 3.5 favorites against Jarrett Stidham and the Broncos in Denver. That game is at 3 on CBS. At 6:30 on Fox, the host Seahawks are 2.5-point favorites over the Rams. Should be 2 really good games. In women's college basketball on Sunday, IU is at Purdue. The game is on Big Ten Plus at noon. That's a shame. IU enters the game 11-9. Purdue is 10-9. We hope to hear from Michelle Garman about the Hoosiers women sometime this week. Also Sunday in women's basketball, Marquette is at Butler at 2. And at 3, Evansville is at Northern Iowa. And Notre Dame is at Clemson. Just one men's college basketball game in Indiana after Purdue-Fort Wayne and IU-Indy was postponed. Evansville hosts Southern Illinois in a Missouri Valley Conference game at 4. USC-Wisconsin is a semi-interesting game in the Big Ten. That game's at 4 in Madison on the Peacock app. Now you know everything I know. Thanks for listening. Hope you're enjoying the new daily podcast. Do me a huge favor and share it with a friend. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.